Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Sarah with the Adventure Squad, and today I'm bringing you another Kosmos Legacy game. Today we're going to be talking about My Island. Now, we've previously talked about My City and the My City Roll and Build Legacy games, but today we're going to be exploring an island. My Island is for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 plus, and takes about 30 minutes to play each episode. Just like the previous My City games, it's broken down into chapters and episodes. So in total, you're going to be playing 24 games of My Island, and there's 3 episodes, so 3 games within each chapter, again, in this game, just like the original My City. Now, there's many similarities between My Island and the My City games, including the gameplay, how to take a turn, scoring, and just overall rules within the game. My Island also comes with an Eternal board, just like My City, so even if you play through the campaign, you're not done there. You can keep playing and keep having fun with the Eternal board, and we'll talk about that as well. In My Island, you've landed on a new island, and you are striving to explore this island and create the best island possible. With that, let's jump on in and show you how to play My Island. Setup for My Island is easy and pretty much the same as My City. Each player gets their own game board, and each player is also going to have a different animal on their game board. So this one has a wolf, and it has kind of a light blue or grayish background on it. Now we're going to take the tile set that goes with that board, so these tiles are all going to have that same color background on it. We have 28 total tiles in our starting set of tiles. We have 6 of the largest tiles, so these 4 pieces. We also have 6 of the smallest tile pieces, which are 2. And then we have 8 each of these 3-piece kind of triangle tiles and these 3-piece straight line tiles. We have our deck of cards here. There are 28 cards with each of these tiles on one of the cards. And lastly, don't forget your score tracker. Your little cube just goes on the number 10 again, just like in My City. And that's how we're going to track our scoring throughout the game. If we take a closer look at the tiles, you can see that they have different objects on them. So we have walls, houses, fields, and paths. And just like in My City, we're going to be trying to keep these different terrains, if you want to call them that, together. So we want to make sure we put paths by paths, walls by walls, and so on. Once everyone has their board, tiles, and score tracker, we make sure to shuffle our cards here, and we're ready to start the game. In each round, you flip over the top card and place it face up. And since this is the first card, it's going to be creating our discard pile. Then we find this tile within our set of tiles and play it on our game board. Just like My City, all players play at the same time. Once everyone has played their tile on their game board, we flip over the next card. Then we find the next tile and play that one on our game board. Play continues until either all of our cards have been flipped over or all players have passed and ended their episodes. Let's get into tile placement. The first tile must cover at least 1 beach space. So as you can see, I actually covered 2 here. But for your first tile, it has to cover at least one of these sandy beach spaces. All remaining tiles must be played adjacent to an already played tile. It must also match one of the objects on your played tile. So if this is the next tile we have to play, we find that tile, and I could play it over here, matching the green walkways. We could play it over here, off our wall. It just has to be played with matching symbols adjacent to each other. Now in episode 1, you may only play on the beach and heath spaces. So these like pink and green spaces on here, this is the heath. This kind of in-between line here, this is the palm spaces, and this is the rainforest, this dark green area. So when we first start playing, we can only play on the sandy beaches or in the heath. As you get further along in the episodes and chapters, you'll be able to unlock more areas of your map to play on, but we are restricted to those 2 areas for the moment. Tiles cannot be played on top of other tiles, like that. Obviously, you just put them side by side. And once a tile is played, it cannot be moved. If at any time you can't play the tile that has been flipped over on our card, or if you choose not to because you don't really have a good area that you'd like to put it, you can choose to pass. Now, just don't forget, you have to take a minus point just like in My City, so you get minus a point, and that just says that you are passing for this round. You're not ending your episode. So if we flip over another card, we can continue playing the next tile. At any time, you can also end your episode. So if you're either unable to play any more tiles or don't want to play any more tiles, you can pass and end your episode. If you're ending your episode, you do not need to take a minus point. You simply can't play any more tiles that round. Make sure you announce out loud that you are ending your episode. That way everyone is aware. And once all players have passed or all of your cards have been flipped over, the round is over. If your score tracker is already on 0, you cannot pass on any more tiles. You must play or you have to end your episode. Each chapter is going to come with a rule sheet and a scoring sheet. The rule sheet is what you're going to read before you start an episode. So you're going to read all of the chapter rules, and then it has specific rules for each episode. Now, the scoring sheet mostly just explains how you get points or lose points and what your rewards will be at the end of the scoring phase. To keep it short and sweet, let's just go over the scoring rules that we have in place here. In episode 1, we get minus a point for every tile that we do not place. So every time we pass, we're going to take that minus point. Then also, if we have a house placed on a beach space, we get plus 1 point. At the end of the game, once everyone has passed or we use all those cards, visible beach spaces are minus 1 point. So you want to try and fill up all of your beach spaces. In episode 2, we're going to be using all of those episode 1 scorings, plus we can immediately, when we make a straight tail, so that explains it in this rules part of the chapter over here, but if you get 3 of these path symbols in a row, you would then immediately get 3 points. You would then place a green marker cube on that straight line, so that way you know you've already scored those 3 path spaces. In episode 3, as you can see, it takes back that scoring option from episode 2. Straight trails no longer yield any points, and immediately straight roads will score us plus 5 points. So if we can get 5 or more path symbols in a straight line, we get 5 points. After we're done scoring, we check who has the most points. Whoever got first place in that round gets 2 progress circles. Those are these circles up top here of our board. So the first place person from that round would get 2 progress circles. Second place would get 1, unless you're playing with 2 people. If you're only playing with 2 people, second place would not get a progress symbol here. The second place person would then fall into the other category if you're playing with 2 people, and they would then get a poem sticker to place on their board. Another way to get those progress symbols is down here in the lower right of our board. If we are able to get all the way to 55 points while scoring, we would get a progress circle. Whoever has the most progress circles at the end of the 24 episodes has created the best island and wins. When you are starting the first episode, everyone's boards are going to be the same, but as you go through, you're going to be adding stickers and different things on different spaces throughout your board. So even after the first episode, everyone's boards are going to start to look a little different and become unique. Now, the back of each player board all have the Eternal game on the back side, and you can tell that this side is the Eternal game because there's no animal picture up here in the top. So all of the Eternal boards all look the same, And the rules for playing the Eternal board are pretty much the same as episode 9 in the campaign. So once you make it all the way through the campaign, you can go and play the Eternal board with some of those rules from earlier on in the game up through about episode 9. Now that we've gone over how to play My Island, I'm going to do just a short review and some of our thoughts on this game. So let's start with the positives. I love the theme of this game. I like that we're exploring an island and building the coolest or best island that we can. And I also like the tiles. I think it switches it up a little bit from My City, where you're playing with polyomino pieces in different shapes. This one is strictly tiles, and while you have different tile shapes, it just makes it different from the original My City. The biggest issue that we had with My Island were the rules. Now, My City and My City Roll and Build had very clear rules. You didn't really have to look anything up for clarification. It was pretty cut and dry, and you knew exactly how to play My City. With My Island, it seemed like there were some conflicting rules within different chapters, and it made it very difficult to play at times. We did go online and try to find answers to one or two of our questions, and we actually were not able to find answers. Other people were having issues with this as well, that they had the same questions and there wasn't really an answer for it, and they couldn't get an answer from the creator of the game either. And so it made it a little bit more difficult, and we kind of had to house rule a couple things, just so we were clear on the rules. We just came up with our own house rules. This is how we're going to play this part or this aspect that we were questioning. So if you don't have an issue with, creating your own house rule, if you're coming across that you have questions and you can't get the answers to them, you can house rule it and keep playing from there. But that was the biggest issue that we had with this game, was just the lack of clarification on some things and just some discrepancies and things that were conflicting within different chapters throughout the game. Now, I definitely still like My Island. It's still a fun game. I still love the island theme to it and the tiles, as I said. I don't know if I would recommend My Island to everyone. If you're looking for a more clear rule set and a little bit easier play, I would probably stick with My City or even My City Roll and Build. But if you don't mind coming up with, a couple house rules here and there just to get through where the rulebook lacks, I would still suggest My Island. It's still a fun game, as I said, and I still play it. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Adventure Squad down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, get your game on.